Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us, taking time out of your morning or your early afternoon to hop on a webinar with us. Mike, if you want to go ahead and hit the next slide for me, sir. Just to go over kind of a quick agenda with everyone here on the line, we're going to go over who our DLink team is across the U.S., our top coded SKUs with ADI, of course, our exciting new products, which we're really wanting to get out to you guys, including our Nuclias Cloud Access Point program, as well as our Nuclias Connect, and our updated industrial switches. We're going to go over a little bit about Nuclias Connect versus Ubiquiti product. Then we'll have some time for a Q&A. And lastly, we have some giveaways that we're going to be randomly sending out to all of the guys here on the line here, including 2 of our Nuclias access points and 1 of our DNH 100s, which is our Nuclias workstation. So moving right along here, just want to go over a little bit about DLink and who we are for anyone out there who is unfamiliar. We're right over 30 years of being in business. We've shipped over 780 million ports all over the world, 3 million IP cameras. We do about 700 million in sales as of 2016. That number's gone up quite a bit. Thank you to all of you. Currently located in about 190 different sales offices across 67 countries. We are definitely a global business, specializing in everything from network switches to access points, cameras, and a multitude of other products. Kind of give you guys a snapshot. We're going to be sending this out to everybody on the list here as well. This is just our U.S. territories right now, and we'll give you a better outlook of who our inside and outside representatives are in each territory, as well as direct contact information to all of us. So at the end of the call, if any of you guys have any questions or needs, feel free to reach out to anyone on the list at any time. Some of the key contacts that you guys will see on this list are myself. I'm actually the distribution sales manager for our security wing. Mike Friends, the gentleman who is going to be going over the rest of the webinar this afternoon. David Casada, who is Michael Friends' counterpart out in California. He's also an inside sales engineer. And then Chester Lee, who is who we all report to. He is actually our senior director business sales leader. Last thing we'll go over here, and then I'll let Michael get into it, is just warranty on all of our switches, because we get this question a lot at all of our ADI expos. We make 2 types of switches, managed and, of course, unmanaged. All of our managed switches for you guys, anything from a $90 switch to a $10,000 switch, if it is managed, DLink warranties that for life. If you ever have a switch and it's managed and it dies on you, we will replace it. And if it's dead completely, as far as a dysfunctional part, we'll overnight another one to you on our dime. We kind of like the motto that if you buy a DLink switch once and it's managed, you'll never buy another one again. Limited lifetime warranty on all of our unmanaged switches, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what that means as well. Limited lifetime warranty means we warranty that part 5 years past the end of life of the product. So as the majority of our switches will stay on a shelf for 2 to 3 years, we'll warranty it during that time, as well as 5 years past the time that we have EOL'd the product. So I'm going to turn this over to our friend Michael Friends, as well, our inside sales engineer, and he's going to go over some product knowledge, and I'll be back with you guys towards the end of the slideshow.
Thank you so much, Wes. I'm always excited when I get to speak with ADI and the ADI customers. As Wes mentioned, I'm the outside sales engineer, and I do this a lot. Unfortunately, I don't like just doing the slides as a sales engineer. Many times I'm showing the customers the interface, I'm showing them how to do certain things. But I am going over slides. I'm going to talk about our new products. But I want to share with you, my goal for today is for you guys to know who to contact, because DLink can help you with end-to-end projects. And DLink, we love to do projects. We have the pre-sale support and we have the post-sale support. So many customers don't know the resources that are available to you. So if you take anything away from today, is just to let you know how to get those resources that you need. You could get to me, you could get to Wes, you could get to David, and we have just a whole team to help you. So as I mentioned, we have end-to-end. The switching is our bread and butter, as you probably know. And today we'll talk about some of the newer offerings. Now, working with ADI, even as it's not one of their coded SKUs, ADI does have the utility called special orders or ordering hub SKUs where you can get certain SKUs. Now the coded products, and what that means is that when you go to ADI or if you order ADI online, some things will always be in stock. Some things will be at their near warehouse. Wes, that's in Reno, correct? They're the hub where they usually could get it the next day. I think that's the Reno warehouse. And the S means it's a special order, which means we could get it for you right away. As long as DLink has stock on it, we could get it for you right away. So on the left, you'll see the ADI part number, and on the right, you'll see the DLink part number, and you could order anything from our entire line card. Now, I want to emphasize what does well with ADI and what does well with our customers in general. The 1100 series is in the Smart Managed family. Probably the best selling SKU is the DGS-1100-08P. That's 8 ports of PoE, so all 8 ports are PoE. It's a really small switch. It does very well. And 64 watts for the PoE budget is pretty good. It's really good for a lot of jobs. The other part number that does well is the 1100-05 PD. How is that different? It's going to give you 5 data ports, but it does not have a power supply. It's powered by PoE. So in other words, you plug in a PoE switch to the 05, and then you'll get 2 ports of PoE. So you could use it as like an extender, or you could use it to extend the length of your Ethernet. The standard is 300 feet or so. If you have this 05 PD connected to the network, you can make it 600 feet. So it's a very nice product to have, and it's very popular. We also have higher port counts. Both the 10 MP and the 26 MP tells you the number of ports that it has. So on the left, the 10 MP, you're going to get 10 ports. On the right is the 26 MP, you're going to get 26 ports. One thing I encourage you to do is just check the number of PoE ports that you need. The example is, you see the 1100-24P here. It's a little tricky because you get 24 total ports, 24 data ports, but 12 ports are PoE and 12 ports are for data. If you decide you need to use a port not for PoE, not a problem there. The port will sense that it does not need PoE, but you're only going to get 12 PoE ports total. And this is a pretty popular switch also. The next family is the DES-1210 Smart Switch. This switch is still popular because the DES tells you it's a 10-100 switch. So you're going to save money with this switch. Most cameras today are still 10-100. There are a few cameras out there that need the higher throughput, but if you just need 10-100 with the gigabit uplinks, consider the DES family. And probably our most popular family is the 1210, the DGS-1210 family. The 1210 10P, that's this switch here, that's probably our best seller. You're going to get 8 ports of PoE. You're going to get 2 SFP ports. So it fits just a ton of jobs because you get a good number of ports. If you need a few more ports, you could go up to the 28, or you could tether the 2 switches together if you need to go with 2 1210 10Ps. And it's a business class switch that comes with that warranty that Wes mentioned, where you get the next business day replacement. It's a very good switch. And I'm excited to talk about this. This is our new family. So the new family is the 1250 family, and it's not going to be on ADI's price list yet, but if you need to special order it, we can make that happen. It's going to be available in August. So what's so great about this? It's the switch that I suggest when you need a 10 gig uplink and you need the command line. Another great feature of this switch is if you're selling in the Midwest, or you're selling in, let's say, Florida, where you have a lot of weather, you have thunderstorms, etc. It has the 6 kVA protection. So you see to the right here, it says 6 kV surge protection for all the ports. You got to remember that if it is an act of God, like lightning strike or whatever, it gives you extra protection. But if that does happen, unfortunately, and we determine that it's a lightning strike, that's not normally covered under warranty. So that 6 kV surge protection gives you extra protection. And we have quite a few MSPs that love that 6 kV protection. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that you could get this in a variety of port counts. So you get it at 28 port. Whenever you see the P, that means it has PoE. You could get it in a 52 port count, and that's PoE also. The two on the bottom, 28 and 52 port counts, non-PoE. I'm very excited to talk about Nuclias Cloud and Nuclias Connect. Part of what I do, I try to get to the branches, the ADI branches as much as possible. I'm able to see a lot of the branches on the West Coast because that's where I'm based, but eventually maybe I'll get to see 81 or have a floor day at each branch. And with that being said, when I do go to the branches, I get a lot of great feedback. And I get the feedback that you need an alternative to other products that are out there, whether it's a Ubiquiti or whatever. And we have that. DLink has offerings that are compelling for your customer. And these are the offerings that I want to emphasize. We have Nuclias Cloud and Nuclias Connect. Very briefly, Nuclias Cloud is cloud managed. So what does that mean? Cloud managed just means you provision it on the cloud. You need that internet access to configure it. It's a pay-as-you-go licensing fee, but you could just deploy it. It's just unlimited deployment. So the best example is if you have the coffee shop that's nationwide and you want to deploy Nuclias Cloud. You could put a cloud switch, a cloud AP in every store and manage it from anywhere. So you'll get the reporting, you'll be able to create SSIDs, you'll be able to do different things all via the cloud. Converse to that is Nuclias Connect. So what's the difference? Nuclias Connect has the advantage of being either on-premise or software managed, what I call a private cloud. So you could get the free software, or you could buy the little hub that gives you the software on the little hub, and then you could set up your own private cloud. So the same thing there, but the difference being that the Nuclias Connect, you could have up to 1,000 APs, but you provide your server, or you could have up to 100 APs with the part number I'll talk about shortly, the DNH-100. So Nuclias Connect is on-premise. So if you want to configure it at the site, you could do that with Nuclias Connect. Remember, Nuclias Cloud is cloud-based, so you need that connection to the internet to provision it. So where Nuclias Connect fits, it fits when for small to medium, even I would argue even enterprise businesses, because if you size your own server, you could deploy up to 1,000 access points. You'll have a single pane of glass to provision your access points. So once you set it up, you could be back in the office and still configure the devices. So the key things is, like I mentioned, the software is free. Once you buy the access points, there's no additional licensing. So our competition out there, they charge you a monthly fee, or you pay by the year, or you pay every 3 years. With Nuclias Connect, you don't have to worry about that. It has compatibility with the existing and the emerging standards. What we have today, we have the Wave 2 APs that are emerging, but we will be coming out with the latest standard. Today, the latest standard, or the most popular standard, is AC, 802.11 AC. the emerging standard is AX, so we'll have the access points for that standard also. What fits the security market is that you can have the access point work with our D-Link switches, and that gives you control. So for example, when you're configuring the device, you have it set up, you leave the site, and then the customer calls you on the phone and say, hey, I'm having trouble with AP number 2. If you set it up, you can log on to the switch remotely, turn off the port connected to AP number 2, turn the port back on, and you've effectively rebooted the device and been able to do remote troubleshooting without a truck roll. So you'll have other features like the searchable event logs. You'll have the system logs also. High level of security, just the standard securities. And then for customers that have the coffee shop or whatever, you have the payment gateway. So you have either the PayPal and the ticket management. If you're not familiar with the ticket management, that's where you could set up like a temporary password for guests. So here are the actual part numbers. I'm not counting on anyone remembering the part numbers. This slide is just to let you know that we have both indoor and we have outdoor. We have both the older technology 11N and we have the newer technology 11AC. And as I mentioned, we will have AX in the near future when that technology is actually released. But depending on your customer's need, for example, many warehouses, all they need is 11N because they just use it for warehouse scanners. So you could deploy those APs. If you need outdoor, you could go with the DAP 3666. And that's a very popular AP in warehouses also because it's versatile. Even though it's an outdoor AP and it's rated, has an IP rating, you can use it indoor because it has such a strong signal. We have some customers that do that. A common application is to use the WDS, what we call WDS. Some people call it bridging, and that's where you just need the building-to-building connectivity. And with the DAP 3666, you have plenty of modes to choose from. So this slide is just showing you one of the modes available. So this is showing you the bridge modes that's available, but you also have wireless client mode where the AP can talk to another AP to connect without using a cable. It also has access point mode. That's what most people already know about. That's where just connect your devices to the wireless network. But it has multiple modes because it's a business class access point. Also, when Nuclias Connect, you get the new Nuclias Connect app. And that's where a lot of the technology is going. You scan the QR code, you load the app, and then you can actually administer the system and troubleshoot the system, get alerts in the app. And that's what the Nuclias App Connect does for you. It competes very well with the Ubiquiti solution. Now, conversely, if you decide you do not want to download the software and install it on your own server, you could purchase the DLink Nuclias Connect Hub. And it's just a small box. It has a console port. It has your Ethernet port that usually connects to your WAN or connects to your main router. And it has the software that you need. So that is available. That's part number DNH-100. And Wes will be giving one of those away today. So hopefully hang on. It's a very nice product and we'll be giving away a DNH-100. As I already mentioned, you can manage up to 100 APs. So if you have a medium-sized coffee shop that has 10 locations, a couple of APs per location, 100 AP management would be plenty. Now, I put together this side-by-side comparison against Ubiquiti, and we compare very favorably. As I mentioned, once you buy the access points, there's no additional licensing fee. We have indoor, we have outdoor. What a lot of customers want, they want the captive portal and they want the remote management so they could manage it from anywhere. And we have that. Now, you'll get this slide later on. You could go back through this in the future and you'll just see just the ton of features that our product has. If you need help with configurations or virtual site surveys, contact Wes, contact me, and that's a service that DLink offers. As long as you have a blueprint of your project, I've even done it where customers put it on a napkin here or there. We'll do our best to put together a virtual survey for you to give you an idea of what the heat map will look like and give you a good bill of materials that'll please your customer. So here's the other side of the speeds and feeds. The takeaway from this slide is I want you to look at the bottom here, the supported access points. So we have a ton of access points that are supported, but keep in mind, DLink has a lot of access points. So check with me or check with Wes to make sure the access point you decide to go with is supported, because we have a lot of access points on the consumer side. We have access points that work with other types of controllers that do not work with Nuclias Connect. But this is a pretty comprehensive list of APs that work with Nuclias Connect. And as Wes mentioned earlier, fantastic warranty with our product. It includes break fix technical support. So if you go through the manual, you're having trouble, you say, hey, this is supposed to be working. Do I need new firmware? You could call our business support line. You could even, if you need to, ADI has a priority support number. So you could contact us direct, or you could contact ADI and we'll be glad to help you. They'll get us on the line if needed. So Nuclias Cloud, I'll briefly talk about Nuclias Cloud. It's ideal for the chain stores, like I mentioned, chain restaurants, public and private sector. We've been very successful in our other business units, specifically Japan, with our Nuclias Cloud offering. So if you have a repetitive business, Nuclias Cloud fits great. So hospitality, service stations, even campuses. So the takeaway from this slide is this. If you have a new tech that's just going to be plugging it into the cable, you could provision the product beforehand. In other words, you put in what's called the UID of the product, the user interface ID. You type it into the web interface, and then you ship out that AP to your new tech. The new tech plugs it in, it connects to the internet automatically, and then it provisions itself. In other words, it'll turn itself on using PoE, and then it'll say, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be configured with this SSID. I'm configured to lock out this MAC address. That's what that zero-touch provisioning means. And you could do that with the Nuclias Cloud. It's a very nice feature. Also, you could use the web-based portal. You could go to the portal right now. You could go to us.nuclias.com, or you could go to portal.nuclias.com. We will have support for all the apps also with Nuclias. So that's coming soon, but right now you could do it through the web. We already talked about the zero-touch deployment. Many customers like that feature. Now, I did not put this slide in, but I'll mention this also. The Nuclias Cloud feature, sometimes customers worry about uptime. It's a hosted system, and we have a 99.9% uptime using our cloud servers. So we have cloud servers in the US, but we have cloud servers in South America, North America, and really all over the world. Like, as I mentioned, this product took off in Japan, and now it's in the US, and the servers are here. Here's the other feature that I mentioned, Captive Portal. That's where you could do the terms of service. They could log on via Facebook or Google. Very nice dashboard that lets you know what's going on. Normally at this point, I actually log on to the interface and give you the real look and feel of how the product is, but we'll forego that today. And then you get a map view. You put in the address of where the access point is located, and then you get the map view of the access point. Now, here's another product family that's doing very well with ADI. I just love that partnership. The industrial switches basically are the outdoor rated switches that you usually have to put in an enclosure. So the main things about these switches, they're robust. You could either get a unmanaged version or you get the managed version. Now the power supply is not included, but ADI has the power supply that you need. You can also buy a general power supply that's not rated for outdoor if you need it, but what customers normally do, they use a DIN rail, they use the power supply. We usually recommend mean well, and we could tell you exactly which mean well we recommend, but that's what works with these switches. So we have the managed and the unmanaged flavor. And the great thing about these switches, they have an operating temp, they're rugged, they're industrial, and they're versatile. If you need the SFP port, just make sure you pick the right model that has the SFP port. If you need to have a certain PoE budget, just make sure you pick the right model that has a PoE budget. Because some are PoE, usually the P stands for PoE in the part number, some do not have PoE. Here's the 12SW, does not have a P in the part number, that one is not PoE. I won't go over the speeds and feeds, but it just has just a ton of features. One feature that customers seem to like, it has a feature called ERPS. That gives you redundancy. And I do have a how-to document. If any of you guys out there do the fire or do the new IP fire panels, I have a how-to document that helps you configure the switches so the switches are redundant and connect to the IP fire panel. Now here are the unmanaged flavors with more speeds and feeds. And from here, I'll hand it back to Wes. He just wants to reiterate how you can contact us. So Wes, I'll hand it back to you. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Ben. So yeah, as Michael was saying, so we've got a multitude of ways of reaching out to any member of DLink from, of course, phone and email usage, but we also have inside and outside sales engineers, territory account managers, members of our team who are running the distribution channels as well. And we're all here to help service or help and aid with any questions or issues that you guys might have, whether that be setting up network connections, setting up a network itself, heat mapping for wireless systems, and a multitude of other services that we offer for free. Don't hesitate to reach out to us for anything that we can help out with. And we'll be sending this out to everyone on the email list as well after this call. So thank you all again for your time. And Michael, back to you, sir.
So we'll take any questions at this time, and hopefully we have the answers. Might cost you a little bit more for the correct answer.
Before we get to the questions, and it looks like we got one or two right now, why don't we turn it over to Mike Aceta so that he can speak to his team. And if you have questions, this is the time to load them into the Q&A box down at the bottom or the top of your screen.
Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Aceta. I'm the General Manager for Enterprise Connectivity here at ADI. Michael, thank you for that presentation. Lots of great stuff coming out of DLink, one of our really good vendor partners. So just for those of you who don't know what the Enterprise Connectivity team is, as I stutter through that, we're the, for lack of a better phrase, the datacom guys or the jack to the rack guys that support ADI sales folks throughout North America. So we have regional managers located around the country that are here to help you engage with vendors like DLink and identifying the right products and solutions for your projects, and to help value engineer projects if you need that, and of course from a logistical perspective, that's where ADI shines the best. We support a lot of different lines on the cable and connectivity side, all the way back to the active gear where DLink sits. So, you know, reach out to us for any opportunity. And if you don't know who that person is, hopefully they're going to reach out to you on a follow-up from this webinar. But you could always talk to your local ADI branch and ask to get in contact with the local EC rep as they're called. And then we also have our own technical sales group that can help identify the right solution and kind of do a walkthrough with you on your projects. If you need just another set of eyes to come up with a bill of materials or a solution for your end user customer. So we're here to help. And once again, thank you, DLink and Michael, for the great presentation, and look forward to speaking to everybody. Thank you.